Good morning, traders. Welcome to StockCast. My name is Todd Derby, with my co-host James Mason, where our goal every day is to bring you insights and ideas for your daily stock trading activities. I think today we got a nice one for the team. Good morning, James. How are you doing?
Todd, good morning. I am doing well. How are you today?
Doing well. Doing well. What's going on in the market?
Nothing.
We talked about that today. How back when we started the show, pre-market runners were like we'd be like literally like fish jumping in the boat. We'd be like, oh, well, what about this one? Look at this one. Now we're like, give us one for the week.
Exactly. Like we see something moving like 5%, like, oh my God, we have one that might break out. All right, but we do have one today. I feel pretty good about it if it breaks above a certain range, and I'm going to give it to y'all. But first, y'all have to hit them likes. So go ahead and hit the like button, and we can go ahead and start this up.
How many likes do we have to give out this? And this is one we have not given our members yet either. So this is one we're going to share with YouTube show and the membership. So how many likes do we have to get today? We've got 73 people watching right now.
Yeah. Let's see. How many likes do we even have?
Well, we have 22 right now.
22. Oh, man.
We're ways off.
We have 22. We have 85 viewers right now. Oh, man.
Oh, we just went to 50 likes instantly.
Oh, geez. Okay.
There we go. Now we're getting there. There we go. Come on.
All right. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and let me share my chart. All right. It is ticker RNXT. RNXT. So they released news this morning that they had new advances in their management for their pancreas cancer. Something I can't read the rest of the news or it cut me off. So the main thing about this is, one, obviously that's a huge milestone that they surpassed right there. But really, milestones don't matter. Milestones do matter in the terms of giving it the catalyst. But what really makes something run when you have a catalyst is the share structure. This thing has 8.3 million shares outstanding. And a lot of people are going to want to know about the float, which is pointless. But the float is just shy of 1.7 million shares. And the reason why I say the float is pointless is because they don't update the floats, but like once a year. So you can't really go off the float. The shares outstanding is updated more so. And the smaller amount of shares available on the market, the more of a chance it moves. So this is a very small share structure here with huge news. Now, the critical range, absolutely freaking critical, and not a cent less.
That's really important. To say that again. It's really important that they understand this. If you want to be safe and have a successful trade.
Yes. When I literally call out a range, and you guys see like these oddball numbers like 734, I really don't mean 730, and I definitely don't mean 7. I mean 734 to the penny. Like it has to be to the daggone penny. So many people always tell me, yeah, but it hit like 732 and it dropped. Yeah, it didn't hit 734. There's a reason why I call these certain numbers. The penny right to the cent absolutely matters. All right, so for RNXT, this breakout point, and again, guys, I mean, this could drop. I shouldn't even have to explain this to people, but I obviously do. You never know what's going to go on the stock market, but with this ticker, the breakout point is 1163 for ticker RNXT. If we break above it, right here, we're going to look for potentially a nice runner. And if we go to this 15-minute chart, we can see it's the tops of these candlesticks right there. So I feel like if we break above 1163, we should probably test this 1421 rather easy. And then potentially, and a lot of this will be dependent on how many people try to short this. And we all know that the bears are going to try to come in and short this super low share structure. And there's a good chance they could get crushed. But if we break above that 1421, that momentum could easily take us up to that upper $16, $17 range. Now, if we break above that, the sky's the freaking limit.
Yeah,
I mean, this thing could run. I mean, don't mark my words here, but with that much momentum, I mean, this thing, literally the sky's the limit. I mean, it could run up into the 30s. Who knows? But if this does run and you're sitting in profits, move that stop loss up. Once you get to the point where you have nice profits, you want to get to where your stop loss is just right above your average cost. That way, if something drastic would happen and this pulls back and triggers you, you don't lose any money. So, I mean, while you wouldn't take any profits, at the same time, it's better than a loss. So this is the only ticker that I'm watching today for a day trade. This is only a day trade, guys. Only a day trade. Just so I am 100% clear here. So this is ticker RNXT. And if we break above 1163, that's critical, guys. If we break above 1163, I'm expecting this thing to make a nice push up.
I don't think they're listening because in the last 2 minutes, it's jumped 30 points. I mean, 30 cents. I think people are.
Everybody's trying to jump in now. Like everybody's like, oh well.
I don't want to miss out on this $2.
Yeah. Why wait for this thing to go to 1163 when I can get in at 947 right now? Well, it goes back to what I was saying. What happens a lot of times when I talk about these tickers and them breaking out at certain price ranges, and I literally call out to the exact cent that it needs to break, a lot of people try to jump in super early, and then it just tanks on them. And then later on, I mean, hell, there's been times, be months later, someone would ask, hey, what about this alert right here? And I'm like,
never tried
it. Yeah. And they'll say, well, I'm in it. Like, why'd you get in it? I'm like, well, you alerted it. I alerted it, but it never triggered. They're like, well, I wanted to get in early. Well, you got in early and you see what happened. I mean, so 1163, guys. Yeah, I mean, if you get into it now, hey, best of luck. So let's see what we got going on in the comments. So good morning, everyone. Let's see. So if anybody's wondering, I'm still all in on POAI. Don't get me wrong, guys. I am freaking tired of waiting on them. I have had communications with them, but I'm not even going to make that information public anymore since so many people just cannot be responsible with that information. So let's see. All I know is if they don't drop us that catalyst before Thanksgiving, I'm just going to release Bob's address and we're going to go to his house for Thanksgiving. You are all invited if you're a shareholder.
That's a joke. 100% that's a joke.
No, you're all invited to Bob's house per Bob if you're a shareholder.
He's having a pre-board meeting at his house.
Yeah, that's where you have to show up at on Thanksgiving morning.
Oh Lord.
let's see. So for some of the members, and I could have already answered this, the stock I was just talking about that's on my chart, this is RNXT, breakout point 1163. Not a cent less. And if this thing starts pushing up, we could start seeing some, halts or anything. At any point, this thing would like halt downward, fell out of that thing.
Ryan makes a comment
about. John, thank you for reiterating that. I should let me reiterate this as well. Only a day trade. Day trade. Day trade. Day trade. I cannot stress that enough. Like this thing could run to $20 and then end the day at $8.
Yep.
That's how these small share structures work. So Chris, you're asking why not a swing trade if it breaks above 1163? Just because people are going to be taking those profits. Oh, Tony, talking about how about putting me on the board for predictive oncology? I could probably get voted in, but man, I would not want that. I would not want that at all.
You wouldn't be allowed to talk about POAI the way you talk about it now.
Not at all. I wouldn't even be able to mention it.
Right.
I'd be an insider.
I would say POAI and you have to go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. But man, can you imagine like being an insider on some companies? Talk about an alert system we'd have.
Psst, psst. I got one for you.
Yeah. Let's see. Just going through the comments really quickly, guys.
Yeah, so I guess S. John's offering his Florida destination as a place to meet for Thanksgiving, if anyone's up for that. He's got the house all fixed up and ready to go. That'd be a good meetup.
Yeah. Oh, Beth. So Beth. Let's see. Hold on. Comments are moving. Beth mentioned Naked Brand had dropped, ticker NAKD. So this is actually good to talk about. So I'm still in this. My average is 93 cents. And to be honest, I was not expecting this thing to drop. And then when it started dropping some, I was like, okay, this probably ain't going to drop much. But lo and behold, this thing is back down to 70 again. And the bears definitely came in and shorted the crap out of this thing. So I haven't had a chance to even look up the short volume on it yesterday. I meant to do it last night, but completely forgot. But yeah, I'm still like, this is a longer term trade for me. I do see great potential in them, not Naked Brand. Like, I don't want anybody confused us right here. The guys on the Naked Brand side suck. Like, they suck. They suck. They're horrible. I mean, I probably shouldn't describe them like that, but they suck in terms of all the crap that they try to do with their company. What gives them the value here longer term is this reverse merger that should take place between them and that EV company. Now, I don't know if they're going to restructure the shares later. They possibly could. I don't know, but that EV company is legitimate, and that is a legitimate acquisition that is being worked out on right now. So while my average is 93 cents, I don't have any intentions of scaling in yet. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to scale in at all. I have 21,000 shares or something like that. So roughly $20,000 caught up in this. And I do plan. Okay, so I do plan to hold this long term. But when I say holding it long term, that's just really give it time. Now, if they'd have like some kind of amazing catalyst, really dropping, some big news, and this thing started running multiple dollars, I'm just going to be real. It would be too tempting not to take this profits if it was running multiple dollars. But I don't expect that, at least not for this fourth quarter of the year. And I really don't expect them to start really making solid moves until about summertime of next year, if I'm just going to be honest here. So this is a longer term hold. Now, I don't think they're going to be like a Tesla or anything like that, but I believe that they could be a strong contender. I mean, hell, if Nikola Company can have half of the share structure that they have and their stock squeezed up to $100 a share, I would like to think that, once everything is said and done in the end, that this would at least be a $10 stock. I would like to think that, because, Nikola didn't even have a product. This company that they're reverse merging with, they've been selling EV vehicles on the market for years. So I am hardcore long on NAKD. So Aaron Sparks, thank you for the tip. Johnny, thank you for the tip.
Appreciate it, boys, for the tips. Brittany, you asked the question about how do we not get caught if it halts down? You lost 50% profit in fun because of it. Still came out ahead, but it blew right past my stop.
Brittany, so what happened? Great question. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. So what happened in the fun one? That was a unusual downward halt. So what happened is when the price dropped and it halted, it gapped down, and when it opened, and that's when it blew through your stops. I would suspect when it was dropping, you would have got executed even at potentially a bad fill. But if it stocks at $10 and it gaps or halts down at $8, then it opens up at $6. Everything between $6.01 and $8 was skipped over, and people wouldn't get executed on their stops. So that's what
is complete horse crap. Todd and I were actually trading live together, just him and I, and we were watching that. And when it went into the halt, we were looking on DOS at their halt bands, and when it started indicating that it was going to be like a 10-point gap down, we was like, what the heck? Like, that's the crap that needs to be investigated, because there were people literally buying at the top when it was pushing up to like 20, 24, and then it came down, and when it broke through 19, that's when it just let loose. For something to gap down almost 10 points in a halt, there's some funny business going on. There has to be. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know about you guys, but I just can't quite trust the market makers on Wall Street.
Well, there's no coincidences in the stock market. We've said that. Yeah.
Like, the stock market is not made for us to make money on. It's just going to be honest. It's not made for that. All right. Let's see what we got in the comments.
Someone's asking about BlackRock owning POAI as institutional ownership. And I know we saw one list, or I saw a list where they owned about 140,000 shares a while back. And I don't know how many shares they have now, but it looks like they may have upped their buy-in on it.
All right. The last time I looked at the institutional stuff was when that broker sent me that email. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at any 13F filings today. But hell, we actually still have a couple more days before a lot of those guys will start posting their 13F or Form 13s, just to see who it was who bought in to Predictive at the end of October.
Hey, going back to Brittany's question about the downward halts and stops and how do you avoid that? Another strategy that we don't talk about a whole lot, but I think is good. Let's say you buy in at a ticker and you're in profit. Another strategy would be to sell part of your profits, sell part of your shares at profit, so you're break even. It's like a realized break even. So whatever shares you're holding are literally your profit. That way, if they do drop, you can't go in the red. You can't go in red on the trade because you've already sold and got your initial capital back.
Yeah, but if you give up shares, Todd, you can't make $1 million in one trade like that. Just saying.
Well,
you can't fuel up the rocket ship if you let out half of the fuel. Just saying, Todd. Well, that's fine. No, you can't. I should have said, actually, I'm going to have to edit this later. I should have actually said, it would have been better if I just said, you can't go to the moon if you take out half the fuel of your rocket ship. Well, that's what I really meant to say, guys.
Some aren't trying to go to the moon. Yeah, so Peter Van Kuren just said they're up 18,000 shares. Yeah, so I saw them around 140,000 before. So if they're at 160 now, that means they've added 20,000 shares. So
yeah, well, whoever added a lot more than 18,000. That is for sure.
Yes,
a lot more.
Yep. We're about 5.5 minutes to the start of the market.
So I'll answer this last question. What I think about fuel cell, ticker FCEL. Long term, I think they have a outstanding future, especially with this infrastructure bill. I believe I'd have to go back and kind of look at some of the highlights of it, but I believe there's like $7.5 billion allocated for like EV charging plug-in stations. So all these EV companies should really take a strong run off of that. And the main ones that I'll be watching in the EV sector will be one, NAKD. That's the one I'm hardcore bullish on. 2, fuel cell FCEL, and then Blink BLNK. So those are the ones that I'll be watching long term in the EV market. So I do feel good about this for a long term hold. But again, it's probably going to be a slow ground. So other than that, that is all I have for today. So Todd, do you have anything else?
No, we covered a lot of good stuff today. I think it was a good show.
Yes, it was. All right. So we appreciate y'all tuning in today. Y'all remember, trade safe, trade smart, and we will catch y'all in the next one.
Take care.